This video is sponsored by Jackery. The other day, as I went out to my shop, getting ready for another fun-filled day of being a small business owner, I went to flip on my lights, but no lights. Great, the power's out. This meant all my printers were not working, everything was off. The ones that were running overnight had stopped mid-print, but the bigger issue I had was that a customer's order, which I promised would get made and go out today, wasn't going to happen. Until I had an idea. Over in the corner of my shop was sitting a Jackery HomePower 3600 plus power station. I was able to extend that handle, roll it on its wheels, zigging and zagging around all the junk and stuff in my shop, and easily hoist it up, putting it on a table next to my 3D printer. Snagging my wife's bedside table lamp, remind me, I gotta take that back later, I was able to get a little bit of lighting, and then I could easily plug up the Bambu Lab H2S to get this one job done. Thankfully, this Jackery unit has a very long, stable shelf life as far as battery percentage, and it was still sitting at 100%, even though it had been sitting for a while. Now that the printer's powered up, we need to do a little bit of bed maintenance and make sure we have it all nice and clean, ready to go. And then I also need to load up the filament color. In this case, it is blue that this customer wants their product made in. Alright, with the filament loaded up, my next step was to load the file, but thank goodness I had this already sent to the printer ahead of time since it's a common product. I was able to pick it from the printer's saved menu, choose my filament, and let it rock and roll. That H2S powering up uses quite a bit of electricity, somewhere around 14 to 1500 watts for heating that big giant bed all at once, but thankfully it's a piece of cake for the Jackery to handle. This is the Jackery HP 3600 Plus, also known as the HomePower 3600 Plus. It is a portable power station that boasts a capacity of 3,600 watts of output, a battery capacity size of 3,584 watt hours, and is even expandable for a maximum of 21,000 watt hours of capacity. The unit you're seeing me use as is can also run a refrigerator for your family for up to 14 days. This unit has what is called zero drain technology, which minimizes the self-discharge to under 5% per year, guaranteeing reliable standby power whenever emergencies or 3D print catastrophes strike. 2 hours and 45 minutes later, the print is done. It looks fantastic, and the Jackery is only down to 78% capacity on the battery. Running the printer and the lamp barely even put a dent in this bad boy. With my print job done, it was time to remove it from the table, roll it over to my shipping station, and then plug up the desktop computer, the scale, the label printer, and everything I need for packing and shipping this order. One cool thing about this print file is it is designed with printed supports. So these little oval plugs just simply pop out of it, leaving a very nice clean design afterwards for bolts to go through and hardware. Much nicer than an automated tree support or something from your slicer. Practicing my origami skills for folding together a mailer, sliding the product into a foam sleeve to make sure it doesn't get scratched or damaged at all inside of the box, packing it in there nice and neat, and of course adding all my product package inserts, sticker, business card, and any other swag I have to finish out the package. A little bit of brown craft paper to make sure things stay stable, and we're good to weigh it, print the shipping label, add our thank you label, and then drop it in the box to go out to the post office. As luck would have it, not long afterwards, the power miraculously came back on, and I could get back to work. Well, what did you guys think of my fake little skit there? Yes, it was fake. The power didn't happen to go off magically when I needed that. But I figured, hey, why not get creative? Show you guys something interesting. But seriously, illustrate an honestly really possible scenario that I could find myself in, or maybe you could too. You come out to your shop, there's no power, but you've got an order that you've promised to go out today, or has to go out today. What you gonna do? Anyway, figured it was an interesting way to show you the Jackery, show you the benefits, how you could use it, and honestly, not a bad reason to have one of these lying around just in case. What I want to do next though is I want to talk about and test out how well this unit works as a UPS, uninterruptible power supply for my 3D printers. For this, I have the Bambu Lab H2S. I have two of them that I bought recently, and I figured why not hook the Jackery up to one of the latest and greatest printers out there, because my thought is that these are probably also the most sensitive because they're so smart. Let's see how it works. Let's power them up, get them going on a job, and let's pull the power. UPS mode activated. Then, if it's all well, let's put the power back into it and see how well it handles that changeover back to grid power. All right, we got the Jackery plugged into the wall of my workshop, and as you can tell, it is charging its battery back up. By the way, it only went down to 78% running the Bambu Lab printer for 2 hours and 45 minutes plus the lamp. Awesome. I've got my 3D printer plugged up right here. Let's go ahead and press this button, turn on the AC circuitry, boot up the printer, and put a little test print through it. Let's just print the built-in benchy for this. It'll be the easiest thing to get going. So loaded blue filament, ready to go, rock and roll. Build plates clean, yes. Perfect, that guy's off and running. Now let's check out the power consumption. If you don't know, the H2S printers and the H2D are very power hungry. It heats that bed up really fast, which is great, but it's also going to use a lot of power at first. Looks like a spike somewhere around 1400 watts just from a single printer, and that's quite a bit. Thankfully, it doesn't last forever, but it does make starting multiples of these printers very difficult to do at the same time. All right, this guy is printing happily now, so let's go ahead and pull the power. Let's take this guy off grid. No more mains power. Let's see how well the Jackery works as a UPS and see if the Bambu Lab H2S has any recollection that something has happened. All right, let's go caveman on this one. Just unplug it. And look at that. Printer's still running. Nobody beeped, nobody clicked, no lights flickered, nothing at all. And the only indication we have is that the input now says 0. That is so cool. All right, well, it did wonderful with the power disconnect. Let's see how well it does with the power reconnect. Straight into there, and boom, charging the battery. Awesome. Again, no reaction, no indication anything happened. That is so cool. Hot dog. Jackery has done it when others maybe could not. It is a seamless, perfect UPS for my Bambu Lab H2S. It's really good. It's probably, you're thinking, oh, cool, nice. That's not what you're gonna get with all power stations. So the fact that it did it was really cool. And even, it gave no indication that it's flipped over power. When my power blinks out here, all my normal APC or CyberPower APS units on all my printers click, they buzz, they hum, and it's like, oh my gosh, something happened. That guy didn't make a sound. Very cool. So I'm not gonna lie guys, this unit is actually pretty nice. And I'm not just saying that because it's a sponsored video. I've had a lot of experience with power stations over the years across a couple of different channels and just in general life as well. But this one is really cool. And there's a couple of reasons, so I guess let me tell you why. First and foremost, it's a big battery. So you're not gonna be messing around with some tiny little battery that's really not gonna last a long time. Therefore, it's heavy. That's okay though. This one is on wheels. Not all power stations come on wheels. In addition to that, it has this telescoping handle. And it's a robust metal handle. It's not flimsy. I had this guy the other day. I was dragging it out in our driveway. Actually, when I first got it, unboxed it, did all of that, took it out into the driveway, put it in the bed of my truck, hooked up the solar panels, and got it charging. I wanted to see, does it charge from solar? How well did it work? And just drag it through my gravel driveway. It did great, did fantastic. I didn't feel like this handle, oh my gosh, where is it? I didn't feel like the handle was going to break and I was going to leave the power station behind. It didn't feel flimsy, and that was just a point that I wanted to mention. As far as the build quality, a lot of power stations you're going to maybe see out there have these really big displays and it's all touchscreen, and that's all good and well and fancy until you get it outside in the sunlight and you can't hardly see that screen to push the buttons on it. For that reason, I love the fact that Jackery has the tactile, actual physical buttons. Maybe it's because I was made in the 1980s that I like buttons over touchscreens, but for me, that is a very big benefit. I also like that it just keeps things simple from a user interface. When I come up to this thing, I don't have to tap the screen to wake it up and then look for little digital buttons. I know this one right here will turn it on, this one will turn on the USB or DC side, and that one will turn on the AC or alternating current side. That's it, 3 buttons. At the same time, if I want to deep dive, which I did as far as adjusting settings, I can download the app, I can connect to it through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Again, another cool feature. Bluetooth means this thing stays off my home network and has an extra layer of security, or just means one less thing on my home network consuming my internet. Because goodness knows my kids will do it alone. But inside that app, you have full control over the battery setting, the operation mode, how much power you want this to draw from grid when charging, how full you want the battery to get for a full charge, how much you want to discharge that battery. There's a ton of options, and not all companies do that. So this one is just honestly really good. And again, I don't just say that because I'm sponsored. None of that was requested to be said by Jackery. That is my honest opinion and things that I like about this unit after using it for about 4 days now. Well guys, that's probably going to be it for my coverage of the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus. I think I said that right. This guy's been really cool. It's been fun to have, and thanks to Jackery for sending it my way to make a sponsored video and have a little fun doing something creative for you guys. And if nothing else, showing you some technology and possibly in a way that you could apply it to your life. Whether you're in a 3D print farm like me, or maybe you want it to have for backups, the power goes out, you know, run your fridge for 2 weeks, this guy can do it. If you're interested, there are links to it down below. Otherwise, I appreciate you watching as always. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time in the workshop.